Dandavat Pranams. Happy Monday. We are going live here from where are we? The Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram. My name is Vaidehi, and here we are. Let's see, I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me because I am using a different system. So if you can hear me, please comment in the comment section. Just give me a thumbs up or something just to let me know. I'm on a phone and not on my computer, so I can't test it. So if anyone who's watching here can just give me a thumbs up or some emojis that you can hear me, I would really appreciate that so that I know that we are actually live. Okay, so I'm guessing that heart emoji that just like swooshed by means that you can hear me. Okay. Okay, Dandavat Pranam. So here we have Prema Rupa Devi Dasi is watching, and Ilya and Jose Luis, and anyone else that's watching, please comment, send your emojis. And it actually really helps when you comment because it allows the Facebook algorithms to know that there's engagement on this video, so they're more likely to share it and have it show up in people's feeds. So whenever you see videos going live from the Seva Ashram channel, please be sure to comment and like it. And obviously always sharing the videos really helps. Dandavat Haribo, Michael here. Okay, so I chose another topic for tonight, and I wanted to talk about this, and I feel like it's kind of just an introduction to this theme and this topic, kind of warming ourselves up with this topic because I think it's a really important mood and really important theme and topic that's part of our spiritual practice and our spiritual culture, as has been exemplified by grand personalities like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our Guru Varga. And this topic is, can anybody guess what this topic might be? Anybody? What might I be talking about? Something that's really the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and is highly exemplified by our Guru Varga. Who can guess what this is? Just type in the chat. I want to see if anybody can guess what this topic is. And I'd say it's one of my favorite topics, and something that I think takes a lifetime to learn and to practice. Anybody? No comments? I see Om Karnath has logged on. Dandavat. Okay, I'm not seeing any comments. So, might want to get used to writing comments because that's how I like to engage with you guys. So I'd love to see some comments throughout the class, if you will. So the topic tonight is dun 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 audarya. Does anybody know what this word audarya means? Okay. So audarya is this concept of magnanimity, of abundance, of giving, and of distribution. And sorry, I'm very distracted. I actually really like to broadcast from my room. This is a little bit different. Anyway, so this theme of audarya, of magnanimous distribution. And the reason it's one of my favorite topics is because I've had the opportunity to really watch Srila Govinda Maharaj and of course his Acharya Vrinda exemplify this mood, and we hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood of distribution, of just giving the very, very highest thing to everybody freely. Yes, free distribution, right? Free distribution. And when you think about it, you know, this world is based on give and take transaction, on tit for tat. And the culture of the Bhakti Yoga bhakti yogis, of the Vaishnavas, of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, is magnanimity and distribution, and of giving and giving. And there is, I always like to tie it back to what's kind of popular and current in our mainstream or even alternative mainstream spiritual culture, and that's this concept of abundance. So many people are talking about abundance, and what does abundance mean, right? Abundance doesn't just mean financial abundance, but it also means finding that abundance in health, in joy, in your relationships of any kind, in your mood, right? And really, when we look at the culture of the bhakti yogis, and if you look at our temples and the way that we conduct our spiritual lives, there's such an elevated mood of abundance, right? Of food distribution, prasad distribution, of kirtan, and freely giving this kirtan, this Harinam Sankirtan to everybody, and of, Gauda Katha, Krishna Katha, of giving this very high philosophy freely to others without expecting anything in return. And so this is really one of my favorite themes because it is so attractive, and it literally magnetizes everything that you could desire into your life. And I'm sure you've all experienced the ebbs and flows of this mood within your lives, right? How many of you experience feeling extremely abundant and joyous, and then going out in the world and noticing how the world responds to that, right? You go out there and smile you're smiling because you're feeling that joy, and it's contagious. Others smile in exchange. Others are kind, and others reciprocate that mood, right? You go in, walk around and meet other people, the animals, everything just looks beautiful and feels beautiful. I'm sure you've all experienced, right, this mood of abundance just because. And you've also probably experienced the opposite, right? Feeling miserly, feeling kind of like an ebb, feeling kind of like a dip in your energy. And the same city, the same town, the same routine can now be filled with misery, right? Frustration, anger, dissatisfaction, a scowl, which in return, receives a honk or another scowl from someone else. And so when we think about, these amazing Vaishnavas, and I'm just looking behind us here, I'm just going to turn the camera around. Look at this beautiful, right? Our Guru Varga. They're so magnanimous. They're so abundant. And their mood illustrates that. So if any of you have met, Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and the different, acharyas that we have in our mission, they're all so very abundant. And the whole universe is conspiring in their favor, right? The synchronicities and the opportunities and the connections that are made when living in that flow, in that plane. And so I was thinking about this topic because being here in the Seva Ashram, we get to see how Srila Janardhan Maharaj keeps again this candle of transcendental sound vibration going. And that is the fountainhead of Chintamani, of wealth, Shabda Brahman. That's really everything. Vibration is everything. It's not that, we're going to do something on the outside and then it's going to attract the inside. No, it's distributing that internal mood and that internal flavor of what is this elixir, right? This transcendental knowledge. This is what is so ultimately attractive. And so just watching how Srila Janardhan Maharaj keeps that vibration going, and how much it's filled him with joy, and how much it's attracted so many different devotees online to really understand that we're here on the map, right? And even in these modern day concepts of like social media marketing and online businesses, there's even this understanding that engagement magnetizes business, right? Activity and engagement magnetizes business and sales and clients. So we oftentimes are in this material world and we're going about our ways in our lives, and we may be desiring something. We may be desiring some financial abundance or some relationship or some home or friendship or whatever it is. And what I have found is the most powerful for just, it's like the answer to everything, is to really give one's attention and energy to spiritual practice. And I've watched myself time and time again try to do things from the outside, right? Try to generate some result or some desired result by being active in the physical plane, but then experiencing the difference in the results when I first connect to that spiritual plane, when I first set those intentions and offer those pranams and get very aware of what it is that I'm doing, whatever it is for, whatever material activity, right? In my business, in my music, whatever it is that I'm creating. There's this magnetism that is unseen, but is so much more powerful than any little effort that I could exert or extract from my doing and my activities. And so when we find ourselves in a miserable position, trying to find something, trying to look for something, how can we instead choose to turn into our spiritual practice as our reservoir of wealth, of abundance, of sustenance? And in turn, taking shelter of that reservoir of transcendental sound vibration and spiritual practice and, you know, the things that are good association for our spiritual life. You could be in a temple and not have good association, right? You could be in your home and have good association, and vice versa. So it's really about what are we doing to nurture that mood. And I would say that that mood is exemplified in the mood of our Guru Varga and the Vaishnavas. And so the more that we associate and surround ourselves with those vibrations that nurture our soul, our spiritual life, the more we're going to learn and understand what that plane of magnanimity is. And I can just, I was kind of going through my Rolodex of the most magnanimous Vaishnavas I've ever met. And I was just remembering Siddhanti Maharaj and remembering Parvat Maharaj and Mangal Maharaj in Kolkata and all of these really beautiful sannyasis like Ashram Maharaj, who are really, one of my favorite words or expressions is kalpa thadu. They're like these wish-fulfilling trees, and they're so magnanimous. And sometimes we think that turning to something else is going to bring us that joy that we're seeking, but the more we get accustomed to turning to our spiritual shelter and sanctuary, the more we're going to find what it is that we're looking for. And I remember when I was really wanting to live in India, and I had been meditating on it for several years. Pause right there. I want to turn the camera so you can see their lordships. Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandarvika Kirit Hariju Ki Jai. Okay. Magnanimity personified. Okay, so remembering that I really wanted to go and live in India, and that Srila Govinda Maharaj had given me instructions, because I was a teenager, to finish my education and to finish my school. And I remember when I was 12, I had gone to Navadvip in Calcutta for the first time, and it was time to leave, and I didn't want to go back. And I remember sitting upstairs in Calcutta thinking, why will I go back to that Western world where I'm just learning all the machinations of these factory feeling, right? This like mechanic, robotic culture, to just learn the ways of this culture when I have everything I desire right here with Gurudev. And so when I was 12 years old, I had written in my journal that when I was a big kid, I was gonna come back. I was gonna save up and come back, and I was gonna live in India. And so there I was, 16, 17, and I had been meditating on it this whole time, and, had sold a lot of my toys and my stuffed animals, and I had been saving up. I had gotten a job and was working as a tour guide at this place called the Mystery Spot, where a lot of younger devotees here in our community have worked and still work. And I had been saving up to go to India. And I really, really wanted to go, but I had to finish my school, and that was his, one of his first instructions to me. So I felt kind of like stuck and trapped because I wanted to spend time with him. And I had been offering him jasmine flowers and roses every single day, and offering him incense and meditating. And I had these questions about living in India and wanting to be there, and I would get kind of like an internal response. And I wasn't sure if, it was real or if I could trust it. And eventually I realized that what he had been saying to me was the same thing he said to me in person. But that's another story. The point is that I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take living not in India with Gurudev. I thought I was gonna die if I didn't go. And so I finally, I remember I was taking a bath, and then I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, and I was kind of in distress. I was like, I can't live without going to India to live with Gurudev. And so I got this inspiration that I was gonna write him a letter. And I decided to write him this letter through Mahananda Prabhu, who is now Madhusudan Maharaj. And I remember thinking, who should I send this letter through? And I felt in my being that this was the best way to communicate. And so I sent this letter, and in this letter I wrote to Gurudev. I said, you are Govinda. You are Govinda. You fulfill both material and spiritual desires. And knowing that I have material desires, you have instructed me to finish my education so that I can be successful in the material world. This was my letter right at this time. And I said, but what is that success without first knowing how to offer myself at your lotus feet? What good will that success do me? And then I had been reading the Gita, and I had just read about the Ananya Bak, how the Ananya Bak will cross the instructions of his king to protect him, right? And so I said, like the Ananya Bak, I was just putting this together. I would like to cross your instruction to finish my education and put it on hold and take a 2-year educational leave so that I can come and live with you in India for 2 years. And I was and I sent this, and I said other things, but this was the gist. This was the powerful statement. And I remember being very nervous, but in my heart, I knew that I was gonna die if I didn't get to go. And I had been offering him a flower every day in meditation on my little shelf, this little altar that I had, and meditating on this and asking about this. And then I got the letter back from Madhusudan Maharaj, Mahananda, and Gurudev had written back, and he said yes. And he said that I could come and live in India for 2 years, and said some other encouraging things that really inspired me. It was just kind of this reassurance that there was this knowing, he understood me, and that my prayer was heard, that my desire mattered, that my perspective mattered, that my longing mattered. And so if we're bringing it back to this concept of audarya, right, of magnanimity, how magnanimous, right, is Gurudev. Hearing my desire, it's like, who cares, right? Who cares what I think and have to say? But he heard me and he allowed me to spend that time with him. And I'll just fast forward and sum it up and say that, he left this world exactly 2 years and 3 months later. So if I had not taken the opportunity to do that and follow that, like, I'm going to die if I don't do this, I would have just maybe had 3 months in India if I had left right after my graduation. So there's this exchange that happens with this mood of audarya that somehow transcendentalizes the whole environment. The whole, they talk about, we hear how to, Srimati Radharani, everywhere is Vrindavan. And everything is Vrindavan. And I've spent probably years kind of thinking about that and just thinking about it, hearing it in class and experiencing this. Of course, everywhere is Vrindavan, because when you're offering, and I'm not saying that I fully understand this, but this kind of glimpse or idea, right? That, wow, when you're absorbing your mind and bowing down and setting those intentions, and if you've been watching the last couple of classes, I've been talking about the power of intention and invocation and all of that, then everything does become a spiritual environment, because the universe, the environment, begins to reciprocate based on that inner hankering and that inner desire for being in contact with the spiritual plane, with spirit, as we would say in our conscious little alternative community, right? With spirit, right? With Krishna, right? Within everything, with Guru, within everything. And so in this pranam mantra of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the last line, Bilasatu Hridi Nityam Bhakti Siddhantavani, may you eternally sing this Bhakti Siddhantavani, may it eternally be like spouting from your heart. May your heart and mind be eternally engaged in that transcendental sound vibration. And I would say that is the most, what is the most magnanimous is the distribution of Harinam Sankirtan and connecting with that and sharing that with others. And that is what our Guru Varga is here to represent, right? Sharing this transcendental sound vibration. And the whole point of creating these temples is so that we can have a place to chant and to practice. And really, the core of it all is that vibration, that mood of kirtan. Kirtan not just being a sound or a thing that we do when we sing and play kartals, but Harinam Sankirtan being the, I don't know, I'm kind of making this up just from what I'm trying to say here, is Harinam Sankirtan is the activity that creates the magnanimity, right? Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming and giving the highest concept through Harinam Sankirtan. And it truly is like this Ethernet Wi-Fi transmission that we can't fully detect, but it's completely transcendentalizing our whole experience, one layer at a time, even if we realize it or not. And then when we start to look at the examples of these devotees who live that movement and who exemplify. Okay, we are back. And I know we came back for just a second and then we lost it again. So we've been having some windstorms here and it's been pretty rainy. So we lost power for a moment. And so I'll give everyone just a moment to kind of come back. It's about 8:10 p.m. here. We'll go for just about 20 more minutes or so. So coming back. We're coming back. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. So sorry about that. We lost connection and we are live again. I hope you can all hear everything. So like I was saying when we started around 7:30, that this topic of audarya, of magnanimity, I think is a very important topic, and that tonight I just really kind of wanted to introduce the conversation and to invite everybody to think about, what is this mood of magnanimity? What is this mood of audarya, of distribution, of giving? And I don't just mean giving, but I mean of opening, right? Of opening the heart, of opening our ability to receive and to really feel that relationship with our process of devotional practice and spiritual life, spiritual practice. And there is nothing more powerful than taking shelter of that transcendental sound vibration. And how can we tap into that mood of magnanimity is through the engagement of Harinam Sankirtan, of distributing and sharing this with others. And time again, I've found myself maybe feeling low energy or tired. And then after some time of chanting or doing some Sankirtan or sharing something about this beautiful philosophy, I immediately feel energized. So back to this mood of, how can we move from the plane of misery and miserliness and having a closed heart and feeling really the miseries of this world. And this is really why I'm mentioning this topic, because it can be so easy to be plagued by the misery and the scarcity and the fear of this material world, especially during these times where that's the hype. And so the reason I'm bringing up this topic is because it's been something that I've been meditating on. That mood of magnanimity, it's all attractive. And when we get out of this mood of envy, of jealousy, of fear, of lamentation, of regret, of maybe resistance, on the other side of that, there is the opportunity to see the very same situation, the very same experience from a different perspective. And how can we begin to massage this concept into all areas of our life, thereby really taking shelter of what it is that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come here to give us. And again, I find that our culture of bhakti yoga is the most magnanimous and abundant culture that I have yet to experience or have experienced. And if anyone knows about abundance and magnanimity, it's our Guru Varga, it's the Vaishnavas, it's, the beautiful words of these songs. And, talk about magnanimity, like this is just one of many books that's filled with nectar and messages and words of inspiration. What to speak of all of our other books. There's so much wealth and there's so much abundance in what we already have. What we're seeking is already here. The abundance that you're seeking, it's already here. And it just takes a moment of practice, of sitting down and awakening to that and recognizing that. And, the more we resist, the further away we are from that, yet you may be fortunate enough to be brought back to that by hook or by crook over and over again. I think we all have that fortune, right? Since we're in contact with this, we have the opportunity to be brought back to this over and over again. And there is no really material situation or circumstance that can fulfill us as deeply as this dynamic spiritual culture. And if we have any understanding of wealth and superstardom and success and beauty and attraction and magnetism and all of these, desirable qualities of power, whatever it is, this is the prime example. This is the best example. And, I'll just kind of make a little joke about like me and the culture of my generation. I really like hip hop and, I really love like the whole kind of like gangster vibe. And I would say that our Guru Varga, they are the most gangster. They are the most like staunch, stoic, firm. What is the mood of kind of someone who's kind of gangster, right? It's like they're confident, they're grounded, they're secure, and again, just remembering the way Govinda Maharaj like walks and talks and sings and holds space for others and sees right into the heart. You know, all of this is a magnanimous, dynamic, magnanimous mood and energy. And if we could even just imitate that or practice that or remember that, I think that would even be enough. What to speak of actually embodying that and developing into that sort of characteristic within us. And so where in your life are you feeling misery? You know, where in your life are you feeling stuck, trapped? Where are you feeling lost? Where are you feeling bewildered or confused or alone? Identify where that is and, you know, intelligently, swiftly, quickly, efficiently, with haste, enter, you know, inject that space with transcendental sound vibration, with this culture of divine abundance and magnanimity. That is the mood of, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, right? And our Guru Varga. So again, this is an introductory conversation on this topic, and it's just based on the things that I've been meditating on this last week. And I remember coming down in the evening the other night to come and check my mail, and just standing in front of the kitchen door and looking up and seeing Srila Janardhan Maharaj's window and seeing all of the pictures of our Guru Varga with their big garlands, and just recognizing and realizing like, wow, we have a representative of that plane like here right now, like our resident acharya. So where in the world is there an acharya, right? Or someone that exemplifies that mood for you that you can reach out to and connect with? Make that effort. Go out of your way and make that phone call. Write that letter to that sannyasi, to Madhusudan Maharaj, to Kushumashra Maharaj. You know, they're here with us now, and they are the example of that mood of magnanimity, and we will learn from them. And I'm only saying this again because there was the before Srila Janardhan Maharaj asked me to come here and say something and do this Monday night thing, and there was the after. And there's a huge difference, I will tell you that. Okay, there's a huge difference in my life as a result of that. And that's what made me realize, wow, these Vaishnavas, they are like reservoirs of mercy and blessings. And it's almost synchronistically, mind-readingly bizarre. I remember a few days before he asked me, I was walking on the property, and I thought to myself, what could I do to really serve this place? Like, what is the service that I could do that's most natural and inherent for who I am and the qualities that I have been blessed with? What would be the most natural way that I could be in service that feels just like effortless and already existing? And I literally just thought about that for a moment. And then a couple days later, Srila Janardhan Maharaj and a combination of some like mystical environment of, I'll explain in a moment, asked me if I could speak on Mondays. And I had been thinking about that, like, wow, it'd be so nice if more of our age group, you know, were speaking and sharing. And I thought, well, it's okay because I do it anyway. I already do live streams and do kirtan to like the public by myself. I don't care. This is my life, and I can't, this is the joy that I have. It's my only joy, singing and dancing about these things. And so, yeah, just realizing the difference between not having his merciful glance and service connection before and after. And it makes a huge difference, okay? And here's one thing I also wanted to say that I remember. I remember I was in Russia with Avadut Maharaj, and, I've always just been being chastised since I was a teenager. I don't know, I have a lot of energy, I'm intelligent, I will say something back if I don't like what you said, and I don't care what you got to say about that, right? So I was always kind of like in trouble about something, and I was like, why am I always getting in trouble about things? And I remember he was giving me some like chastisement, and he said something to me. He was like, you know, everything that you have is like a credit card. It's like credit. And he was like trying to like get this point across that I needed to like, I don't know what he was trying to say, because I felt like I was stoked and engaged in service and making videos for Gurudev. But whatever it was, it stuck with me. It may be not exactly the point, but it stuck with me. And I'll never forget that. And here's what I remember. Like the energy that we have right now, the ability that we have to even like move and walk and talk, the life force, we are alive right now. You are alive right now. You're watching this, you're alive. You can probably walk, you can probably talk, you can sing, you can dance. The energy that we have right now is like credit. How are we spending that energy? How are we using that energy? And again, this conversation and topic of Audarya tonight is an introductory kind of free-flowing conversation, but I'm going to come back next week and I'm going to find many shlokas to share about what this mood of magnanimity is, because I think it's important for us to absorb that and to embody that and to practice that and to live in that so that we can recognize it in others, be a magnet for that, and attract more people to this divine transcendental party that is Harinam Sankirtan. And it's extremely necessary because there's a battle between the light and the dark. And the dark will win as long as there's no Harinam Sankirtan. They will win, okay? The only way they're not going to win is if we engage in Harinam Sankirtan. So if all of us can take some time to raise the collective consciousness by engaging and sharing and distributing and being magnanimous, and not just with others, but also with ourselves and with our own mind, and giving ourselves the time and space to nurture that, we will begin to see a transformation and be less and less affected by the darkness of this material world, by the misery, the scarcity of this material world. And if we're all on the same planet, which I believe we are, we may all be noticing that Kali Yuga is advancing rather rapidly, quickly, powerfully, right? There's a lot of Hare Krishna things happening, and we really are going to want to prepare right now, if we didn't start already before, and to get really focused about how we're expending our energy and engaging with this wealth. It is like this credit, right? But it can become wealth if we properly learn how to invest it, manage it, use it. So again, free flow. I hope this is useful, helpful, somehow inspiring, and of course an introduction. Next week I'd like to continue on this topic because I'm very much impressed by the mood of our magnificent, magnanimous acharyas and our Guru Varga. So I'd love to continue meditating on this and sharing that. And, you know, there's this beautiful song that two beautiful songs that I wanted to share. There are many more, but that I could kind of think of and find in the Kirtan Guide. So if you have the 7th edition of the Kirtan Guide, you can turn to, you know, there's two songs that I'd like to sing, page 124 and page 172. And so I'll begin with this Nitai Gunamani Amar by Srila Lochan Das Thakur on page 124. I wanted to read that translation and then sing the song so that we can actually receive some of the, you know, content that I've been speaking about. May it come through us in our effort to chant and glorify this song by singing it like a genie lamp, right? Polishing it. Like the more we sing it, the more this reveals itself to us. Even if you sing one song every day to yourself, read one verse every day, chanting your japa, there's some process of shining and polishing and increasing our connection so that it's stronger and stronger until we can actually embody it and ride that wave, right? As we spoke about last week. So I'm going to read the translation. O my Lord Nityananda, the jewel of all good qualities, O Nitai, the jewel of all good qualities, has brought a flood of ecstatic love of Godhead that has drowned the whole world. Lord Nityananda has brought this overwhelming deluge of love of Godhead to the land of Bengal on Lord Chaitanya's order. The devotees have been inundated by this deluge, but the unfortunate non-devotees have remained floating on that ecstatic ocean. Lord Nityananda freely offered this rare gift of love of Godhead, which is difficult for even Lord Brahma to attain, to the fallen and wretched souls who were not desirous of receiving it. The ocean of mercy had formerly been tightly sealed, but Lord Nityananda cut a channel in its boundary to allow the great flooding waves of ecstatic love to wash down from house to house. Lochan Das says, whoever has not worshipped this Lord Nitai or accepted the great gift offered by him, that person knowingly commits suicide. So the nights, the days and the nights are going by with every rising and setting of the sun. Life continues. Sun rises, sun sets, sun rises, sun sets. At some point in that day, let's actually drink and experience this nectar, this Krishna Katha, this Gauda Katha. Okay, so I'm going to sing this song now, and you can sing along, so I'll leave space for you to sing back. There's no one else here singing, so I guess I'll sing the call and the response, and try to breathe between there, but so that you can sing the response as well in your home, wherever you're watching from. So again, page 124 from the Kirtan Guide. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nitai Guna Mani Amar Nitai Guna Mani Nitai Guna Mani Amar Nitai Guna Mani Aniya Primera Banya Basalaya Bani Aniya Primera Banya Basalaya Bani Prema Banya Loyanitai Aila Gauda Deshe Prema Banya Loye Nitai Aila Gauda Deshe Dubilo Bakata Kana Dina Hina Base Dubilo Bakata Gana Dina Hina Base Dina Hina Patita Pa Marana Hi Bache Dina Hina Patita Pa Marana Hi Bache Brahmara Durlabha Prema Sabakara Jache Brahmara Durlabha Prema Sabakara Jache Abada Karuna Sindhu Katiya Muhana Abada Karuna Sindhu Katiya Muhana. Gore gore bole prema amiya rabana. Gore gore bole prema amiya rabana. Lochan bole heno nitai jebana bajilo. Lochan bole heno nitai jebana bajilo. Jani ashuni ase atmagati hoilo. Jani ashuni ase atmagati hoilo. Dayal nitai, 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 dayal nitai. Okay, next song, and then we close, is on page 172, and it's Atmani Vedana. I really love this song. I really look forward to the day where we have some mridanga accompaniment and some more devotees, but tonight we couldn't arrange for that, but hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll be able to start having some more devotees participating. But for now, we're all here together, and I know it's a little strange, right? We're not singing together, but again, that's why I'm singing it twice, so that you have the opportunity to sing along, and so that we can all have this Sankirtan together, even if it's digitally. All right, so page 172 in the Kirtan Guide, that's the 7th edition. Atmani Vedana is the song. It's written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And I thought this would be a really beautiful song because the more we can understand this mood of surrender, full self-surrender, and seeing this mood of full self-surrender within the Vaishnavas, the more we can understand something about what is this mood of audarya and of giving and distribution. So I will read the English first, give you some time to also find it if you are watching this live or the replay and trying to find your Kirtan Guide. So verse 1, I have become supremely joyful by surrendering myself at your holy feet. Unhappiness has gone away, and there are no more anxieties. I see joy in all directions. So this is a little bit of the after, right? After Srila Janardhan Maharaj, gave this blessing, feeling like, wow, what a difference. So the more we can engage with this practice, the more we will experience this very line, okay? You will experience it. Your 2 lotus feet are reservoirs of immortal nectar, where one may live free from sorrow and fear. I have found peace there now and have given up the fear of worldly existence. I shall render service in your household and not endeavor to enjoy the fruits of that service, but rather I shall strive for whatever pleases you, fully devoted to your lotus feet. Troubles encountered in your service shall be the cause of great happiness, for in your devotional service, joy and sorrow are equally great riches. Both destroy the misery of ignorance. So true. I have completely forgotten all past history by feeling great joy in my mind. I am most certainly yours, and you are indeed mine. What need is there of any other treasure? Bhakti Vinod, diving into the ocean of bliss, devotes all his efforts for your service and dwells in your house according to your wishes. So that is the English translation. And now we will sing the song. Atmani Vedana tu apare kori, hoino paramasuki. Atmani vedana tu apare kori, hoino paramasuki. Duka dure gelo chintana rohilo, chodike ananda deki. Duka dure gelo chintana rohilo, chodike ananda deki. Ashoka bhayamrita adhara, tomara charana dvaya. Ashoka bhayamrita adhara, tomara charana dvaya. Tahate ekona vishrama lobiya, charino bhavera bhaya. Tahate ekona vishrama lobiya, charino bhavera bhaya. Tomara samsare koribo sevana, nahibo phalera bhagi. Tomara samsare koribo sevana, nahibo phalera bhagi. Tava sukha jahe koribo jatana, hoye pare anuragi. Tava sukha jahe koribo jatana, hoye pare anuragi. Tomara sevaya dukkha hoya jato, seoto parama sukha. Tomara sevaya dukkha hoya jato, seoto parama sukha. Seva sukha dukkha parama sampada, nashoye avidya dukkha. Seva sukha dukkha parama sampada, nashoye avidya dukkha. Purva itihasa bhulinu sakala, seva sukha peyemane. Purva itihasa bhulinu sakala, seva sukha peyemane. Amito amara tumito yamara, tikaja aparadhane. Amito amara tumito yamara, tikaja aparadhane. Bhakati vinora anande dubiya, tomara sevara tore. Bhakati vinora anande dubiya, tomara sevara tore. Saba chesta kore tava icha mata, takiya tomara gore. Saba chesta kore tava icha mata, takiya tomara gore. Atmani vedana tuya pare kori, hoinu paramasuki. Atmani vedana tuya pare kori, hoinu paramasuki. Dukkha dure gelo chintana rohilo, dukkha dure gelo chintana rohilo, chodike ananda deki. Chodike ananda deki, chodike ananda deki, chodike ananda deki. Oh hey Vaishnava Thakur, 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 oh hey Vaishnava Thakur. Oh hey Vaishnava Thakur, oh hey Vaishnava Thakur. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Patita Pavan Gurudev, 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 Patita Pavan Gurudev. Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Sri Rupa Nugakudu Varga Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charya Maharaj Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Yes, Saparshad Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Sri Jagannath, Sri Baladev Jagannath Subhadra Ji Ki Jai, Vrindavan Purushottam Dham Ki Jai, Sri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. And all of the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Sri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaud Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So thank you so much for joining and tuning in. I know we had a couple interruptions because we had a power outage, but next week we will continue with this topic of Audarya, and I will be sharing some links with you and some quotes. So always look in the comments section when we do this Monday night evening. I really like to post resources so that you can then take that content and explore it, read it, memorize it, print it. And if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below this video and we'll look out for it. If you have any requests on any topics or anything of that matter, please comment in the comment section below this video. And please share this link and all of the links for the beautiful classes that happen here during the week with your friends. Do that part of that distribution, being magnanimous and sharing this with others as you feel inspired. And hopefully next week, I would love to see some of your engagement in the comments section. I really love to see what you all have to say. Oh, And it's Ashram Maharaj, his appearance day today. Really, thank you so much for letting me know, whoever is tuned in and said that on this Jai Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj's appearance day. Ki Jai. No wonder I was thinking about him today. If you know him or have him on Facebook or have his email address, go send Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj a happy birthday message. Celebrate his divine appearance. What a very, very beautiful Vaishnav, so inspiring and encouraging. Okay, that's all for this evening. Now I will put the deities to rest. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera over there again so that you can have some darshan. Take a moment here to just have your darshan as if you're here in this temple room, and offer your heart, your mind, whatever's going on. And we will see you next week. I will turn it off in just a few minutes, but please take your time with Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvi Pragiri Hare Rama. Hare Rama.